injury reports for the morning games here. If you have any start-sit questions, if you have any fantasy football questions, if you have any life, whatever type of questions you got, ask away, fire away. Happy to answer whatever you have for me today. And I see we got Shane in the chat. Shane says first, damn straight. What's up, bro? But look, we have a lot of news that kind of has happened overnight. A lot of stuff that we can kind of catch up and talk about up until we get those final injury reports. And so let's just start it off, man. We'll just start going through this very quickly, very easily. Starting there at the bottom. Debo plans to play today versus the Patriots. So he said on a Bleacher Report podcast that he felt like it was going to be week 5 by the time that he came back. It's week 4. He's a week early. George Kittle back in the lineup. Let me just say this for all the folks at home. If you spent some money on Juwan Jennings, if you burned priority on Juwan Jennings after you went out there and put up a 46.5 point game, at this point, with all of these guys in the lineup, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, all those receivers in the lineup, Jennings is best left on the bench, to be honest. We're not playing Jennings right now this week anymore, now that these guys are all active. I see we got Jake, the Minnesota sports fan. He says, Skull, damn straight, baby. Let's get it, man. We got to go beat the pack today. Love to see it. Jair's ducking some smoke, man. Jair Alexander not playing today. Doesn't want to see his daddy, Justin Jefferson. So it's gonna get the Packers fans a little excited in the chat. I know that statement is gonna get them excited. But you love to see it, man. Robert, he says Ford or Pollard, and then BTJ or Waddle. I like Pollard more than Ford, and then when it comes to BTJ or Waddle, give me BTJ this week over Jalen Waddle. So there you are, man. But yeah, look, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it talking about some of this news. Another one that we have is running back Alvin Kamara. He was listed as questionable for Sunday's game due to hip and rib injuries. He is planning to play here in this one versus the Falcons. So we do get Alvin Kamara if you were worried about him. In the same breath, talking about the Saints, Chris Olave had a hamstring injury later in the week. He is likely going to be playing in this one as well. He's going to test it out in the pregame, but they said that they're pretty confident he is going to be there. Shane says, when is Ayuk going to be this top 5 to 10 wide receiver that everyone was saying he was? I think, honestly, obviously the production has not been there. One, he's kind of been out of shape. He hasn't been in game shape, which hasn't really helped his narrative, I don't think, for the most part, because you miss all of the offseason. You don't practice the entire offseason. Then you show up week 1 trying to get right back into game shape. That ain't going to work most of the time. I think when you look at the numbers, though, the routes that he's running, the targets that he's receiving, he hasn't come down with a couple of the touchdowns. I think he had 2 touchdowns that he's dropped so far this year. He hasn't come down with them. He's getting the targets of a number 1 wide receiver. Like, he's getting the usage of a number 1 wide receiver. So I feel like, the day is coming. He's a guy that I would be buying low on in my leagues at the moment. But that's just really not... the points just haven't come. The points just haven't come yet. But I think Ayuk, he's still getting the usage. I would definitely be trying to buy low on him at the moment. All in Fantasy Football says Purdy or Caleb Williams. I would be going with Brock Purdy this week in my leagues. That matchup, though, for Caleb Williams, it's kind of nice. It's not a bad matchup at all. When you look at how the Rams have played against quarterbacks, and when we're looking at schedule-adjusted fantasy points per game that they've been giving up, the Rams right now, they're like 30th out of 32 teams. So it's a pretty good matchup there for Caleb Williams. I still go lean Brock Purdy, though. That matchup with New England, they're middle of the pack. They should score a lot of points here in this one, and it should be a good game for the Niners. Now, Shane says no worries for Deontay Johnson today. No, I'm not really worried about him. I think he's going to be fine. He's a guy that if you're plugging into your lineups, I'll just tell you where I have him in my rankings, and this is based off of full PPR, so full PPR leagues. I got Deontay Johnson as a top 15 play. If you're playing Deontay Johnson, I think he's a high-end wide receiver too in my lineups this week. So, yeah, no worries for him for me. Jake says, by the way, full PPR, we got Palmer or Ray. Give me Palmer in this situation. This is deep, man. This is a deep cut. makes me think that it might be a dynasty, but Palmer would be my play. They play the Chiefs, and it should be a point where the Chiefs have to, or the Chargers have to throw a lot of footballs today. Even though, Justin Herbert's banged up, they said that he should be in the lineup and ready to go. So not too worried about it. Shane says, are you out on all the Jags wide receivers? Honestly, no, I'm not. I think I'm still very bullish about Brian Thomas Jr. I love Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's a guy that I'm still very bullish on. Christian Kirk, he showed signs of life. I was getting out on Christian Kirk, and then he showed signs of life. So I'm like, I want to see him do it again this week. We'll see what happens there. And then Gabe Davis, I don't care. I'm out on Gabe. But not all of them. I think Brian Thomas Jr. I still have full confidence in, so I'm not too worried about him. But we'll see how that goes moving forward. Big Abo says, pick 2, QJ, Ridley, or Mooney. Give me Ridley and Mooney. Ridley and Mooney are the 2 for me today. Fritz says Baker or Love. This is interesting, man, because what I have heard with Jordan Love is that there's a chance that they're going to have Malik Willis play under center at times today as well. Jordan Love recovering from the injury still. I don't think he's going to be 100%. This is a tough defensive matchup against Minnesota. If it came down to, who do I have to choose between these guys? I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield, man. Baker Mayfield feels like the pick for me. He's a guy that I think this week with his matchup is going to be able to give you some solid numbers against the Eagles. So give me Baker Mayfield over Jordan Love this week. Keith says need 2 wide receivers to start 10 team PPR. You got Hill, London, Deontay, Ayuk, Myers, Shaheed. Need 2 of them. Okay. Full PPR. To me, it sounds crazy. We're not going to be starting Tyreek Hill. We're not going to be starting probably Myers or Shaheed. So it's going to come down to London, Deontay, Ayuk. I have Deontay and London the highest in my rankings. So I think I'm just going to go with Deontay and Drake London here in this matchup. So there you go, Keith. Shane says, how do you think Tampa Bay running backs look today? Dude, they're a mess at the moment. The Tampa Bay running backs, they have food, or Rachaad White has food poisoning. He has an illness, or listed as an illness, but it's food poisoning. They said he should feel better. Bucky Irving has a hamstring injury at the moment. He should play through the hamstring injury, but that's always scary when the running back is playing through a hamstring. I have no idea what to do with these guys. Honestly, if you can avoid playing them, you probably should be putting both of them on your bench just because it's gonna be messy. I threw Rachaad White on the bench in one of my leagues for Cam Akers. I'm starting Cam Akers over Rachaad White in that league. Another league where I have Rachaad White, I am trying to play anybody else in the flex over Rachaad White. So it just feels like I can't really trust either of them right now. They said Bucky Irving could potentially get more work. It seems like there's a little bit of panic on Rachaad White. It seems overblown a tiny bit, and if I'm being completely transparent, it feels like it's overblown by the media, just because there's a lot of Bucky Irving fans. But yeah, how do I think they'll look today? It's gonna be a committee, but both of these guys are banged up and not 100%, so it could be very ugly for the Tampa Bay running backs. And this game in general could be ugly because Philly is without like 4 starting, or they're without Lane Johnson, they're without A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They only have 4 active wide receivers on the roster. It's going to be an ugly one. There's a chance that Tampa Bay walks away with this one easy over the Eagles, and people are going to panic on Jalen Hurts after that. James says, what's up, Andrew? Need to pick 1 wide receiver and 2 flex to play today. You got Odunze, Ford, Dobbins, Kirk, Waddle. Who do I start? 1 wide receiver is Odunze. Odunze is the wide receiver we play in today's matchup against the Rams. The 2 flex, I think I'm going to go with Jerome Ford. And the other flex, I want to go with, I think, Dobbins, even though I don't love the matchup. I really don't like the matchup for Dobbins, but I think you go with him in this one, unless you want to dabble with Christian Kirk. But Odunze and Ford for sure are 2 of the 3. Let's see. All in says flex Scary Terry or 1.5 tight end premium Pitts. Give me Pitts in that situation. Impossible says half point PPR. Need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 flex. Okay, so we'll break it down. We'll start it slow. Let's go with the running backs first. So you got Cook, Kyron, Chuba. Well, of those 2, I'm going Cook and Kyron. You have 2 wide receivers. You have Jefferson, obviously should be in the lineup. I think Zay Flowers should probably be in the lineup. And then your flex, I think I'm going JSN. So we're going to go Cook, Kyron, Jefferson, Flowers, JSN. Those are the 5 starts for me there. Impossible. James says full PPR in my league. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't change really my opinion there. I think it's still going to be Odunze, Ford, and then your choice between Dobbins or Kirk. But Waddle's probably better left on the bench with Snoop Huntley under center. I don't know what that offense is going to look like with Tyler Huntley. Shane says, here's a fun one. Start 1, tight end premium. You got Colby Parkinson, Elijah Higgins, and Noah Fant. That is a fun one. And you're going to make me reference my tight end rankings on the week because this is so deep. I just don't talk about these guys as often. Right now I have Colby Parkinson as tight end 18. Fant as tight end 17. And who's the other one? Higgins? Yeah, I don't have Higgins ranked very high. I have him as like 26. So I would be going Noah Fant in the shootout with Detroit. But, yeah, if you got to play one of those guys, that's tough. That's tough sledding. Brandon says full PPR, Pickens, J-Mo, or Jaden Reed. George Pickens was my start of the week, so I like George Pickens this week at the wide receiver position, or he's one of those starts of the week for me. Jake says, oh, and also funny how Jair consistently gets injured against the Vikings. I think he's ducking smoke, man. He's ducking the smoke. You know, last time, they saw each other, he wanted to do the whole seatbelt, gritty, all the others, whatever, dude. When they asked Justin Jefferson this week how he feels about the matchup, Jefferson, he did the little brother. You pat the little brother on the head. He said, I think the matchup means more to him than it means to me. I just care about winning football games. So you know what? We know who's the best wide receiver in the NFL. His name starts with Justin. His last name ends with Jefferson. Let's move on to the next one here. And another flex question. Rachaad White or Jacoby, full PPR. I think I'm going to go Jacoby Myers over Rachaad White this week. Jacoby without Devontae Adams should be a fine play. Shane says Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields. Give me Justin Fields this week instead of Kirk Cousins. Fritz says, thanks, Andrew. What's your thoughts on Purdy over Mayfield? If Debo plays like Purdy, even with Philly's D. If Debo plays, I like Purdy, even with Philly's D. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Purdy over Mayfield. In my rankings at the moment, right now, we are expecting Debo to play. I have Mayfield as a mid QB2 right now. And I have Purdy as a low-end QB1. So I like Purdy. Now, you said even with Philly's D, you must be starting the Philly defense, but I still like Purdy. Purdy would definitely be my pick. Even if Debo doesn't play, which, like I said, we're expecting him to play. Even if he doesn't play, I still like Purdy over Mayfield this week. Michael says start sit McLaurin, QJ, or Jordan Addison. Of these options, I kind of lean Jordan Addison. I think I lean Jordan Addison here. Jordan Addison would be my play. Yeah. All right, so we are caught up. 15 minutes away from the injury reports coming out. I do want to just kind of keep refreshing some of this news that we've had hit the airways. Deontay Johnson, listed as questionable, is going to play with his groin injury. Gabe Davis, listed as questionable with a shoulder injury, will play. Keenan Allen, listed as questionable for Sundays with a heel injury. The team is planning for him to play. Rachaad White and Bucky Irving planning to play. What else we got here? Joe Mixon, returned to practice on Friday, listed as questionable, will not play today. He's tested it out in pregame warmups, not going to play. Excuse me. Justin Herbert, no setbacks. He is playing. Nick Chubb expected to return return to practice this week. Significant step in his return from major injury. So he is going to be back. Nick Chubb will be here shortly. It's still probably a little bit of a ramp-up period. Same with TJ Hawkinson. Projected date for Hawkinson is October 24th, a game in Los Angeles on Thursday Night Football. That would be nice for him to be back in the lineup. And I think right here, other players that could potentially be back off of PUP, you got CEH, Odell, Kendrick Miller, DJ Shark, obviously Jonathan Brooks returning from PUP as well here soon. But yeah, that's where we at. TD Flip, he says, big dog, gonna need you to pull out another W this week after Sexy's BS power rankings. Brody, don't get me started. He dropped those power rankings in the group chat the other day, like a couple days before they came out, and I saw I was last. I put the Cam Newton meme. Have you ever seen the Cam Newton where he's like on the sideline and he has like the towel over his head and he's like, yeah, all right, like that's how I felt with the Sexy P power rankings. I thought it was whatever, bro. He sounded like a hater. And let's talk about everybody in the office wants to shit on the Stephon Diggs stuff. They're like, bro averages 9 air yards a game. He had 97 air yards last week. 97 air yards last week. He had the week 1 game where his air yards were low. And then the other games after that, like his air yards have been fine. He's a PPR beast right now. 2 top 15 finishes. They're saying Ayuk's trash. They're saying, Diggs is trash. They're saying, Mahomes is trash. Like, Brody, I feel like the team that I have in there is so slept on. They hate us and they don't want us to succeed, but we 2-1 and we're going to keep getting, these wins. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to make the playoffs. My team is banged up. You guys know the motherfuckers in here that be watching, and they know, they know we've been banged up. They know we've been fighting through some adversity, and that's fine with me. Jake says, yeah, BDGE hates us, confirmed. Hey, man, they hate us because they ain't us. No, I'm just kidding. I love those guys. But at the end of the day, they hating on the squad, and the squad's going to keep winning. We're going to make the playoffs. You just got to be a top 2 team in the division. Once you get into the playoffs, it's anybody's Sunday, and that's the plan here at the BDGE League. But, yeah, Sexy was hating, man. Whatever. It is what it is. TD says, your team is slept on, and you got big injuries still winning. We've been trying to stay afloat. I've been active on the waivers. They haven't liked the moves. They haven't liked, whatever. Like, we'll let them keep sleeping, man. I prefer them to keep saying that I'm trash, and then every week, I'm upsetting somebody else in the league. I prefer it to be that way. So I don't want to be the powerhouse that they think they are and then, disappoint everybody. I'll stay under the radar. But let's get back to some of these questions, man. Where are we at? Shane says, Brian Robinson should be great today. Yeah, Brian Robinson was my start of the week at the running back position, or one of them. I had 2 starts of the week, and then even an honorable mention in James Conner. But Brian Robinson should have a great matchup this week. RSG said, thoughts on trading Mason and CMC as a package deal, or just CMC with the ramp-up news? Have Mason and CMC in one league, then just Mason in another. Redraft mindset. Okay, so thoughts on trading Mason and CMC as a package deal? I would, or just CMC with the ramp-up news. Honestly, like if I'm trading anybody, well, if you're trading them away, you're probably going to trade them away together. But I think if you have Mason and CMC, you just keep both of them. I would keep them both and just roll with that backfield, because once Mason is no longer the starter, CMC should be fine. And even if CMC is not fine, you have Mason. So I'm not really moving off the backfield. The backfield's valuable. The league where you have Mason only, I think if you can try and get, if you want to move him, you can move him, but I think you ride that until the wheels fall off, to be honest. So really with these guys, I'm not moving them at all. With any of the news coming out, I'm not moving them at all. I'm just still sticking with the backfields. What are we at? Full PPR, are you feeling Akers or Steele? Also pick 2 between BTJ, Keenan, Walker, Judy. Between Akers and Steele, I like Akers this week against that Jags defense. I'm starting Akers in a league this week over Rashad White. So I'll be riding the Akers hype train this week with y'all. Pick 2 between BTJ, Keenan, Walker, and Judy. Walker, is that Kenneth Walker? I'm assuming it's Kenneth Walker. I would go BTJ and Kenneth Walker in this situation. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Will the Beast, my guy. He says, since both the Philly star wide receivers are out, should I bench Hurts and start Dalton Deontay stack instead? Wow. No, I would not. I would still be starting Deontay, but I am still starting Jalen Hurts this week. We'll temper the expectations for Jalen. I have Jalen as like a low-end QB1, but the matchup's still good against Tampa Bay. I just expect him to run the football a little bit more. Obviously, he's still going to have to throw the football to Goddard and Saquon, but I'm still starting Jalen Hurts this week. He's not going to give you that high-end QB1 type of week this week. So that being said, I have Dalton as like a QB2. So I'd be starting Hurts still. Booty Clap King, my guy. What a name, dude. Keon Coleman or Jerry Jeudy? Give me Jerry Jeudy. Shane, start Rachaad White or sub in either Zach Charbonnet or Roschon Johnson. I'm starting Rachaad White over those guys. Roschon is interesting. Zach, I'm not playing him just because I think Kenneth Walker's fully back. Roschon, I'm starting Roschon in a league this week. It's actually the BDG league. Like, I'm starting Roschon in that league. And I'm taking a gamble because I have DeAndre Swift. Joe Mixon is out in that one. Like, I'm starting Roschon over DeAndre Swift. But I think with Rachaad White playing, I'm probably going to go White over Roschon this week, but that's a closer argument than I think we wanted it to be at the start of the year. Here we go. Jake says, by the way, never thought I'd ask this in a million years. In one of my leagues, I have Darnold and Burrow. Is Burrow still an auto start, full PPR? Is he still an auto start? Yes. I have Burrow as one of the top QB plays this week against Carolina. I'm not starting Darnold over him this week, but I think that's a closer start-sit decision most weeks, but this week I do think it's Burrow. I have him as a top 3 quarterback this week, so we'll see what happens there. TD says, perfect, my pick's exactly. Good luck today, folks. Yes, good luck to you too, man. Fritz says, full PPR, need a flex, Rome or Kenneth Walker. Give me Kenneth Walker. Drachna says, Hurts is going to have to scramble and run a lot. I agree. Shane says, I'll ride with you on the Roschon train. All right, man, it's going to be a bumpy ride. This is the late night, the old, like, caboose. We're sitting in the caboose, and we can feel every bump. This is the Roschon Johnson hype train today, but we about to get on that thing, and we going to ride the train and see what happens. Dylan says, what's up? Need help? Full PPR, all different leagues. Start 1. Andrews are likely. I would prefer to go with Andrews. Start 2. Akers, Waddle, or Jennings. I'm going with Akers and Waddle. And then start 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex. With the running backs, I'm going to go Monty and Walker. With the tight end, I'm going to go Komet. And with the flex, I'm going to go Akers over Michael Wilson, but I like the Michael Wilson play this week. So it's going to be Monty, Akers, Walker, Komet. So there you go. What do we got here? Start 1 quarterback, Mayfield or Richardson or Caleb. I'm still going with Anthony Richardson. Start 2 running backs, Jacobs, Walker, Dobbins. Give me Jacobs and Walker. Will the B says, thanks, bro. Always appreciate your time and advice. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you hopping in here, on Sundays and talking some football and hanging out. I appreciate that, man. Soul Train, J-Mo or Debo, Gino or Baker. I like Debo over J-Mo this week. For the Gino versus Baker, I like Gino. Those are going to be the starts for me. Jose says, Kenneth Walker or Jaden Reed is the flex. I like Kenneth Walker more. Theo says, what's up, bro? Full PPR, start Reed, Amari, or Dobbins. Give me Jaden Reed. I like Jaden Reed. All right, so we're back caught up. No more questions at the moment. We got about 5 minutes until we get that injury report for the final inactives. We'll see what we can make happen. Just scrolling through right now to see if there's any other news. Okay, 22 minutes ago, Chris Olave hamstring will be active. So Chris Olave should be playing this week. No problem. Frankie, Myers or Shaheed, PPR. Shoot, man. I would say typically I would go Shaheed, but because we got no Devontae Adams, I kind of want to lean with the Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers in this one is probably the better play. You still have the big playability from Shaheed, but I like Jacoby. Especially in a full PPR where you're going to get the points per reception. That being said, it shouldn't be a question for most people, but if you have Brock Bowers this week, Brock Bowers is going to smash this week with Devontae Adams out. He is going to feast this week, or at least he should. So Brock Bowers, like if anywhere you have him, he has to be in the starting lineup. There is no way you don't put him in the starting lineup. Dragna says start one of Pollard, Chuba, Najee. All of these guys are actually pretty similar in my rankings. Let's pull those up too. I want to say that my rankings lean Pollard. That's where my gut leans at the moment, but it is. I have Pollard as the highest in my rankings right now. Next would have been Chuba, and then it would have been Najee, but I think Pollard is the play. They're showing the Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers reunion. I don't know how cool that is, but apparently, Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson back together. What is this? Yo. Start one, Caleb or Cousins. Give me Caleb. You start two, London, Tyreek, Shaheed. Oh, actually, you know what? If this is the same league, give me Cousins and London with Cooper. Cousins, London, Cooper. I'm just waiting on these final, inactives, actives. We're just waiting on them. We got about 2 minutes probably until they're here, so just waiting on those, and then we'll talk about the final inactives and actives as we wait on some of these other questions to pop up in the chat. But that being said, folks, we got like 25 plus people watching at the moment. I know not all of them are on YouTube, but if you are watching and you are on YouTube, please do me the favor, hit that like button. I see we got about 6 likes right now, but 25 people watching. We want to run that up to, at least double digits. We need to get that to the double digits. So it is the best free way to show this channel some support. I appreciate you guys if you do that. Just hit the like button for me. It helps us grow. So do that for me if you haven't already. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're joining the Discord. Make sure you're doing all those good stuff to support us. All of these things that I'm talking about right now are free. So if you also want to support us financially in any way, right down here, you see it. Promo code League FFB over on Underdog Fantasy. You deposit $10. They will give you a deposit, or they will give you some bonus cash. So basically, that is how that works. Just support the channel if you want to. If you haven't signed up on Underdog, there you go. But more importantly, just do the free things for me. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Za, what do we got? He says, would you trade Worthy in a 2025 first for Rashee Rice? Dynasty full PPR. Worthy in a first. Assuming that first is late, I think I would. If it's a late first, I would. If we're talking about like early to mid, I don't know. But if it's late, for sure. Sean, my guy, says start one, flex, deep league, tight end premium. You got Laporta or Xavier Worthy this week. Flex in a tight end premium, just give me Laporta. Laporta would be the play for me. Where are we at? There we go. Robert says Chuba or Ridley. Give me Chuba. Chuba. Should be getting these final reports any second now, folks. It's always kind of like a wait. You wait till like Christmas morning. That's kind of what we're doing at the moment. Let's see. Frankie says Higgins or Myers. Give me T. Higgins. Give me T. Higgins there. He said not to play him in fantasy football this week, but I'm playing T. Higgins. This matchup's too good. Let's see. Do we have any other news here that's hit that we can talk about for a second? Nothing crazy. Pretty much everything we've already talked about. CMC is expected to return at least by early November is what they said. I don't know if we'll see. But other than that, man, like there's really not that much news coming out at the moment. Maybe this is the final injury reports that just hit my notification. Packers have ruled out Jair Alexander. We knew that. So Jair doesn't get to, play against Justin Jefferson, whatever. Maybe that's what he wanted. But yeah, he's not going to be playing today. Good for Jefferson, good for Addison, good for Darnold, good for all these guys because Jair's a good corner, but duck and smoke today. What else we got, folks? Any other questions from y'all? Want to keep answering these for you if you have them. If not, no worries. I'll go get some lunch or something, go hang out with the wife before the game start. I think we're about to go get some Wingstop, some lemon pepper wings. So, I've been waiting for those all weekend, boy. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I'm not seeing these injury reports, man. They're not popping up. We're a couple minutes past. They haven't even showed up. Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing. So I'll give it about here's the deal. I'll give it about 5 more minutes. We'll go 5 minutes where if the questions don't ramp up in about 5 minutes, if the injury reports aren't out in about 5 minutes, we'll just call it early this week. And in the meantime, I am going to try and go through and set some of these lineups. So we'll talk about some of these lineups that I got at the moment. And I see we actually got a question here from Jake. Jake says, any games for upset this week? Let's see. Let me pull up the schedule. I'll tell you. You got New Orleans and Atlanta. I like Atlanta in this one, but they're favored. Los Angeles, Chicago. Chicago's favored. I like Chicago. Minnesota, Green Bay. I think Minnesota's going to win this one outright, and they're underdogs, so I guess that's the upset that people aren't expecting. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. I like Pittsburgh. Denver, New York. I like New York. Philly, Tampa. I like Tampa to win this one, so there's an upset in that one. Cincinnati, Carolina. I like Cincinnati. Jacksonville, Houston. I like Houston. Washington, Arizona. I like Arizona. New England, San Francisco. I like San Francisco. Cleveland, Las Vegas. I like Cleveland. Kansas City against Los Angeles. I like Kansas City. Buffalo against Baltimore. I like Buffalo. So I guess the upsets of the week that I like personally are Minnesota over Green Bay, Tampa over Philly, and Buffalo over Baltimore. Those are the ones I like this week, Jake. Shane says, breaking, Keenan Allen is active. Should we care? Nah, we shouldn't care. I don't think it matters too much. He was trending that way most of the week anyways. So there you go. Let's look at these. I got this lineup here, man. Hurts, Chuba, Mason, Collins, Olave, Shakir, Fergie, Ford, Pollard, A-Rich. Yeah, man. I like that. Gotta talk some shit. Shane says Seahawks are underdog to Lions. Yeah, I like the Lions though. For whatever reason, I still like the Lions. Darnold, Field, or Purdy? Let's see what we got, man. Let me get this off the screen. Darnold, Field, or Purdy? I'm going to go with Purdy. Bradley, Odunze, or Worthy? Give me Odunze this week. I like Odunze's matchup a little bit better. But, yeah, I guess I didn't go through the Monday games. But so far, just based off of the upsets, those are what I like. Maybe I need to put some together over on DraftKings. Not sponsored by DraftKings by any way. But maybe need to go put something in about those underdogs. See what those lines are at. Just money line. Let's see. What did I say? The Pack or Vikings, Bucks, and Buffalo. It's not a bad one. What else we got here? Frankie says Akers or Ford. I like Akers, man. I like Akers over Ford this week. My Discord is going crazy. Somebody said, looks like someone is ducking smoke from wide receiver 1. You know the vibes we on, man. You know the vibes. Bradley says, should I bench Tyreek Hill? It depends on what your options are, Bradley. What are your other options? I don't mind playing Tyreek Hill if you have to. We're tempering the expectations on Tyreek Hill, but it depends on your other options. I'll tell you what, I got Tyreek Hill currently as a low-end wide receiver 2 in my rankings this week. He's in the top 24, but, it's not a great matchup, and obviously the quarterback play is very not great. Let's see what else. Yeah, Bradley, if you want to throw those other options in there, I'll help you with the start sit. I think we're good here. My bad, folks. I literally am just checking lineups just to make sure that we're good in those leagues. I think we are. The only one that I was really worried about was Deontay and was Chris Olave, and then obviously I'm starting Cam Akers somewhere, so. Let's see. Huntley a lot better than the QBs they had out there last week, I think. I think he should be. I was trying to dive into Tyler Huntley in general, just in my other league, because I was debating on playing Tyler Huntley in a league. But look, let's look back at Tyler Huntley's performances over the last couple of years. He's only got a couple spot starts. I know for whatever freaking reason, Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl one year. But he got a Week 18 start in 2023. Week 18, he goes 15 completions on 28 attempts, 140 and a touchdown. Not great. I mean, that's not going to do a lot for you. 2022, he gets a couple of starts down the stretch. In those games, his highest passing yardage was 180 yards. That was against Denver. And he threw 27 passes in that game, or he threw 32 passes in that game. The other games that he had, and let me just pull this up so you guys can see it. The other games that he had, he's going 187, 88, 138, 115, 130. He only throws 2 touchdowns in that span. Obviously, for fantasy football purposes, this is why you had played him maybe, because he was rushing the football. But Tyler Huntley, actually, I was looking just through it. He hasn't been great, man. Obviously, this was better, but we're talking about 2021. Like, that's years ago, man. So I don't know. Tyler Huntley, it should be better than Skylar Thompson, hopefully, but it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great at all by any means. Also, Seahawks defense is pretty stout. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? The Seahawks defense is really good. They actually, when you look at the schedule adjusted points against, when you look at that for quarterbacks, they currently rank, where is it? They currently rank, wait, they don't even play, what are we talking about? Yeah, the Seahawks, when you look at that, they do play, I was getting mixed up. You threw me for a loop there, Shane. The Seahawks defense is good. They are 4th against quarterbacks. So Jared Goff, he's a guy that we're not playing too much. But again, with Tyler Huntley, they play the Tennessee Titans. That defensive line has been very good this year. So they are also top half of the league right now. So that's why I'm really not too confident in Huntley. Steele or QJ? Give me Steele. Got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers, Rome Odunze, Xavier Worthy, 2 wide receiver and 2 flex. Okay, so I would be going with Diggs and Flowers for sure. Let's see. I don't remember where I have Worthy in my rankings, but I don't think he's higher than Tyreek. Yeah, so we're going Flowers. We're going Diggs. I would say then probably Tyreek and then Odunze. Those would be the 4 that I go with. Hill, Diggs, Flowers, Odunze. Worthy stays on my bench. Mike says, I need one between Michael Wilson, Christian Kirk, Andre Yoshavash, and Waddle. I like the Michael Wilson stream this week. I love the Michael Wilson stream this week. He was going to be my pick up and play option if Chris Olave missed. So I like the Michael Wilson play. Shane says, Will Levis or Tyler Huntley? Give me Will Levis. He was maybe rushing so much because he was in Ravens' offensive scheme. Yeah, I agree. Like, this scheme, too, in Miami is more of you got to be a pocket passer, right? It's quick, over the middle, lots of screens, lots of play action, lots of motion. Like, we'll see what happens with Huntley. I hope he plays well, because if he plays well, that helps me in a league, the BDGE league. But he's a risky play. I'm not playing Tyler Huntley if I don't have to, and I think until I see what he does with this offense, we're still tempering the expectations on Miami in general. Shane says Seahawks played Dolphins last week. Yeah, so, the tough game in general. Most of their D-line is out for Monday game. Talking about the Titans, who is Jeffrey Simmons out? What are we talking about? Let's see, Titans inactives, week 4. Trying to find this. We might not have official inactives because it's a Monday game. Yeah, I don't see any inactives yet. Oh, he says Seahawks D-line. Yeah, their entire starting defensive line is out. So that's tough. But I thought he was talking about the Titans D-line. I was going to say, I don't think that those guys are out. Let's see. Frankie says, last one, Jennings, Dortch, or Trey Tucker. Give me the Dortch. Fire up the Dortch. Jennings is probably left on the bench with Debo back in the lineup and Kittle back in the lineup. Bradley says, you got Ravens or Bills? Give me the Bills, man. I like the Bills this week. Shane says, Seahawks D-line is out. Yeah, yep, I just saw that. Murphy and Williamson. Yep. Tough, man. Tough. But I'm gonna call final call, folks. I'm gonna call final call. So if you have any last minute start sit questions, throw them in. I'm going to go probably for another 5 more minutes. And then we'll call it a day here on this one. Yeah, I still need to throw the underdog parlay in there, like the three teams there that I think are going to be upsets: Vikings, Buccaneers, Bills. Those would be the ones that I do. Start Yoshavash over Pittman. I hate Pittman this week. I actually hate him. But I'm not starting Yoshavash over him. I'm not doing it. I'm just rolling out Pittman. But if you have other guys on your waiver wire like Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, I would play them over Pittman if you have them. But yeah, not Yoshavash. Let's see. What's your order of Rachaad White, James Conner, DeAndre Swift, and Cam Akers? It would be James Conner up top by a significant amount, like not even close. James Conner is an elite play for me this week. And then after that, probably Akers, White, Swift in that order. If Jennings goes for 120 and 2 touchdowns today, is he actually relevant in all league formats? If he does it with all those guys on the field, yeah. I mean, you got to start paying attention to him. But I don't know, man. He hasn't done anything like that with these guys on the field. It was when they were all out that he did do it. So, I don't know. Steve says, how about Worthy over Pittman? I would do it. I'd do Worthy over Pittman this week. Fritz says, go get those wings, boy. See you next week. Thanks. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it, dude. Let's see what else we got. Look, freaking DraftKings, they want you to add the extra leg. They said they'll give you a profit boost if you go 4. So I might do the 3 underdogs and then a touchdown. Who do we think is scoring a touchdown guaranteed this week? Guaranteed touchdown this week. I feel like a Saquon touchdown is guaranteed, right? Like, we know a Saquon touchdown is coming. Shane says, good luck today, everybody. Pick 2, Komet, Kelsey, Chase Brown, projected to lose by 20, so I need some upside. You go Komet and Kelsey. Chase Brown is left on the bench. He has no upside, I don't think. So you go with those 2 guys. Shane says, Kamara. Kamara's banged up, though. I mean, he should get into the end zone. The matchup's a little tougher for Kamara this week. But I think Saquon just feels guaranteed, dude. Like, why would Saquon not get into the end zone? I think that's what we're going to do. The odds on this is crazy, folks. The odds on this is crazy. It says I'd go Saquon for the touchdown. That's what I'm doing. Bro, you can... A little $20 bet on this thing with the odds boost. Pays out like $300. It ain't bad. It ain't bad. We might just do it. We gotta do that thing right now. We out here making sports bets just in the morning. Why not? And then yeah, it looks like we've slowed down, so I will end it after that. But all right, folks, we just did this live on stream. It's a 4-pick parlay. 4-pick parlay. You ready, folks? Shane says, Andrew, sometimes you're so perfectly still for a few seconds that it seems like the stream froze. Bro, I'd be zenned out. I'd be zen the F out. But here's your 4-pick parlay, folks. Minnesota money line, Buffalo money line, Philly money line. Tampa Bay money line plus a Saquon touchdown. Those 4 hit. The odds are, with the odds boost over on DraftKings, plus 2,804. They cap me at $10. You can't do more than 10 because it's a promo, but $10 to pay $290. That's what we rooting for this week, boys. Plus, obviously, a win in fantasy football. But that is it for today's stream. I appreciate you guys hopping in with me, hanging out, chilling, talking some fantasy football, talking some football before the game starts. As always, make sure, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord. The Discord is where I'm going to be for the next hour or so until these games actually start. So if you have any final start-sit questions that come in, you're going to have to go submit those in the Discord. There's a start-sit channel. You can submit those there. We got one more just on the way out. Uncle Fresh, he says, Ramondre or Scary Terry? Give me Ramondre. Ramondre would be my play. But that being said, nothing else for you guys today. So I will see you on our next episode. Tomorrow, when we recap, tomorrow morning, we recap all of these games. So if you want to do that, hop on that tomorrow. Dragman says, appreciate you. Have a good one, man. Appreciate you guys. Good luck this week. Talk to you later. Peace.